Welcome to the very first series of Get Active, Stay Active, the Parkinson's UK podcast. We couldn't be more thrilled to guide you through this transformative 12-week journey. This isn't just a podcast, it's your personal companion to building a vibrant, active lifestyle. Together, we'll dive into expert advice, hear inspiring personal stories, and uncover actionable tips designed to motivate and empower you. Hello, I'm Denise Waterman, and welcome to the Get Active, Stay Active Parkinson's UK podcast. In this special episode, we'll focus on Parkinson's community champions. We'll discuss the benefits of joining new groups in your community, signing up for events, and meeting new people. We'll also explore the power of social support and how connecting with others can help you gain confidence in your Parkinson's journey. We'll be hearing from various community group leaders and members about how they have built community through exercise, alongside Maria Lewis. Hello, Maria.
Hello.
Welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Maria is a physiotherapist and co-founder of Reach Your Peak, an online exercise community for people with Parkinson's. So, let's get started. Maria, obviously someone that's been diagnosed with Parkinson's, they're going to feel very isolated to start off with. How can they make that change to be part of the community?
Yeah, I think it is really difficult. When you've had that diagnosis, you just want to hide away. You want to hide your symptoms. But I think the first thing to say is you might be really aware of your tremor or of how you're walking, but others won't see that. They don't see it as much as you do. And so don't be frightened of that. Get out there. Go somewhere that you are familiar with. Anxiety is a huge problem with Parkinson's, and what we see with anxiety is an increase in motor symptoms. So if you do have a tremor, your tremor will get worse when you're anxious. If you do suffer from rigidity, that can be exacerbated as well with anxiety. So go somewhere familiar. Or if you're going to a class or an event for the first time, maybe go and check it out first. Go there with a member of your family or a friend, and just go somewhere go and have a coffee there first. Just check out that environment, get used to it before you're actually going along to a formal class or an activity that you might be doing.
But it is important to make that first step.
Yeah, it's so vitally important, especially with Parkinson's, because the non-motor symptoms, anxiety, depression, low mood, apathy. These are all real problems, and we know that social connection can really help somebody lift their mood and feel better. They have a better quality of life and are able to live their life better to the full if they can connect.
So isolation isn't good for someone with Parkinson's.
Isolation is an absolute disaster. It's about trying to get out there and feel connected. Find those people. Find your tribe. Find your people that are experiencing the same things as you. And I'm going to say that about, when we talk about Parkinson's, we have young onset Parkinson's, and then we have idiopathic Parkinson's. So Parkinson's that is diagnosed over the age of 65, that's idiopathic. Young onset is when you're given a diagnosis under the age of 50 or under. And I think it's really important that you find those people that are your age with that condition, because that's how you connect. You've got to find the people that are doing the same thing as you. It's really important for us with our community is the thing they have in common is that they're all trying to exercise. So they have that in common as well as their Parkinson's. So find those people and connect with them.
Also, meeting people that have got issues that you have, you can see that there's inspiration there.
Yeah, I think you can be really, really inspired by seeing others. And also going back to that idea of isolation as well, I think that you can feel really isolated even when you're surrounded by people. And I mean, talking about your family members and friends who might not understand this condition. So physically, you can be surrounded by a room full of people, but this isolation can occur when you haven't told them that you have a diagnosis. We work with people who I know they have Parkinson's, maybe their partner knows they have Parkinson's, but no one else in their whole family knows they have this condition, and they're living their life trying to hide it from them. And I think that's, again, it's really, really difficult. And even more important, if you are in that position, and there are reasons why people do that, and they want to protect, their loved ones. They don't want them to worry, or it might be in a work environment where they're in a high-powered job, or they're doing a job that they've done well for a very long time, and they are that person, but so they don't want anybody to know they have this diagnosis in case it changes how they perceive them, which is crazy, by the way, but does happen. So for those people, it's even more important, I think, that they reach out, and whether that be to a local group in their community, but it may also be online now. I mean, that's the beauty. We're able to use online. We're able to remain that element of anonymity if we need it, but also to still be able to communicate and connect with people.
So it's great to know that there are so many choices out there. And we're going to take a look at some of those opportunities that are out there and available to everyone. So let's listen to some of the ways that stepping into these spaces have helped build self-esteem and a sense of belonging for people who live every single day with Parkinson's.
Hello, I'm Ray, and I access grant funding from Parkinson's UK that we use to help maintain our Parkinson's Golfing Society, particularly over the winter months when courses become pretty much inaccessible to us. Some of that money is spent on golf lessons at the driving range, but we've also been using it to develop a new winter activity, which is frisbee golf, which has the big advantage of being playable indoors and is something that our partners and carers can participate in too. We also make fortnightly visits to a golfing simulator, which allows us to play computer projections of famous courses and maintain the competitive side of our golfing endeavours. Initially, we started playing golf in an attempt to stimulate movement and develop balance, which are two things golf is really good at promoting. But along the way, we discovered many other benefits. We found an increased strength and mobility in our arms and legs. And if you're trying to develop a swing properly, you get more flexibility in the hips, as that's a sort of a key feature of a good golf swing, or so I'm told. What we didn't expect was how beneficial it would be to our sense of social engagement. During the summer months, we have upwards of 15 or 20 people playing a tournament at any one time. And this happens weekly and becomes a key feature in our calendar. Alongside this, we need to maintain the funding of our golfing activities. And we do this with various social events, quiz nights, to raise funds for our society. We've also, because of our involvement in golf, found ourselves taking on many other adventures that we wouldn't otherwise have entered into. We've had a mini golf tour where we've played against other players from other parts of the country, and culminating recently in 3 of us representing Ireland in the Four Nations tournament at the Belfry, which was a fabulous 2 or 3 days. But was something that we would otherwise have approached with great trepidation, I think. So golf for us benefits us by promoting a sense of physical and social achievement, and provides a lot of social interaction that we wouldn't otherwise have accessed. My favourite thing about golf is exactly that engagement and the sense of camaraderie that it promotes, particularly within our society. And I also very much enjoy the process of trying to improve at the game, although I have to admit that there is very little evidence of that happening. Thank you.
Many people with Parkinson's feel self-conscious, very self-conscious about their symptoms, especially in social situations. How can you give them some advice overcoming that? What should they do?
Yeah, I think that is a huge problem. As I said just before, it's about recognizing that people probably don't see the symptoms as much as you do. So they're not aware, they're not looking out. And the general public, if you ask them what is Parkinson's, they'd think, oh yeah, that's that thing where you shake, and it's for older people. So they're not necessarily thinking Parkinson's when they see you. So first of all, be aware that, people aren't going to judge you. They're not going to. And if they do, if you can, try and be open about it. Just educate them. Explain to them what it is to have Parkinson's. And I think that helps. I think that helps people to kind of that awkward silence. Maybe sometimes that happens when you do recognise that something is awry. So I think it's really key to, if you can, to be open and to have a bit of a joke about it. If you can, to put them at ease as well, because I think in that situation then you'll be more relaxed. As we touched on before, anxiety really makes your symptoms far worse. So again, just breaking that anxiety by, just being open, saying, yes, this is me, yes, I'm a bit shaky today. That's my Parkies playing up. So many people I work with, they say, they give their Parkinson's a name sometimes, just things like that can
But it
definitely
makes
help.
it easier for the people you're talking to and for you if they're on your side.
Yes. Yeah. I think people always worry about as if they're weak because they've had a diagnosis. Far from it. In fact, I think it just proves them so strong when they're open. I was talking to somebody just recently and he was explaining how, in a very high-powered job, to actually be open about his Parkinson's has just changed his world. People at work respected him more because he was showing he was vulnerable. It allowed them to communicate with him better. And he also said he was a better father for being able to do that. It is frightening to think, if I tell them about that, are they going to see me in a different light? Are they going to start to mother me, heaven forbid, or pity me, even worse, I'm sure. But what I hear from people that we work with is that 99% of the time, that isn't the case. People are very accepting, people are very understanding, and people are in awe of the strength to be able to be open and talk about this condition. And let's think about this in the grand scheme of Parkinson's throughout the UK and the world. We have a role to educate people. We need to be shouting from the rooftops that this is a condition. This is the fastest growing neurological condition in the world. And we need to be telling people that this is Parkinson's. Parkinson's is not some old person in the corner, but it is, a young person, a glamorous person, an active person. And I have Parkinson's, and look how I am. Look how good I am. We need these brave people out there that are open to talk about their condition and be able to, be part of that amazing community that's out there.
Well, we're very lucky because we're now going to be joining some of the people who are out in the community doing the activities you've spoken about and enjoying them, which is even better. just to prove that it is worth taking that step and going ahead. So don't feel self-conscious about your symptoms. Go have a chat with people. Open up. You never know. Not only will you, as you've just said, be educating other people, but you will be learning as well about the way that people respond to you. And you may well just find yourself having a good time, which would be a plus. Overcoming that initial hesitation can be very rewarding, not just daunting, it can be rewarding. Well, let's find out. Here's some advice from people on the front line.
Hello, my name's Claire and I'm running or setting up 2 high-intensity physio-led exercise classes, one of which is in Bexhill and has been running for a few months, and the other in Eastbourne should be set up in the new year, both with the support of Parkinson's UK. Both classes are tailored to the best available evidence, so including all the kind of exercises that people with Parkinson's should be doing according to the current evidence that we have. And the aims are that we are having fun, exercising together, targeting all those different areas, and also that if people identify any functional difficulties, we can try and work on them, and also that we prevent any future functional difficulties as much as we can. The group in Bexhill, because they're already established, support each other both physically and mentally, and they often have a coffee and a chat after the group as well, adding to that social support. My favourite part of working with people with Parkinson's is the feedback from people when they can do something functionally that they weren't expecting to be able to get back. So, for example, previously having to sit down to get dressed or undressed, and now able to stand up and balance while getting dressed and undressed. My second favourite part of working with people with Parkinson's is watching people try something new and then having an unexpected amount of fun. So, for example, boxing often gets people smiling, and also doing some of the more powerful movements where we get out the frustration felt towards Parkinson's.
Hi, my name is Neil Fallon. I run Swindon Parkinson's Walking Football and Swindon Tai Chi for Parkinson's as well. Both clubs were running previously, but when COVID struck, they stopped. Walking football is great for physical and mental health and reduces stress. Tai Chi can improve joint care health, increase strength, endurance, and reduce the risk of falls. Both activities are great socially. These classes benefit everyone. My favourite part of all of this is seeing everyone enjoying themselves, enjoying the classes, being very positive, and giving me positive feedback, which is also really, really good. So thank you very much.
So, Maria, now, how can community involvement help people with Parkinson's feel more connected and maintain a sense of purpose despite what they're going through, their condition?
I had the greatest privilege. I was involved with the Walk for Parkinson's that happened in Cardiff. My job was to warm the walkers up before they head off on their walk, and it was fantastic. To be at an event, to be at something where you're surrounded by people with Parkinson's, daughters, sons, family, grandchildren, children, all there collectively together to make a difference. The energy was just palpable. An event like that sums up why people need each other and need to be involved in a community. Yes, we all want a cure. Of course we do. That's what we're striving towards. But it's going to take some time for that cure to come along. And in the meantime, we need to connect. We need to be part of something like that. Something big, something bigger than ourselves. Something that brings us all together under the same umbrella, doing the same things together. And it was wonderful. In fact, I think I can categorically say I've been a physio for 30 years, almost. I know I don't look like I have. You're meant to say.
Do any of us?
But I've been a physio for over 30 years. And I've worked with many, many conditions as I've progressed on my journey through my career. But I can honestly say I have never worked with a community that are so amazing, so happy to engage, so happy to be empowered and want to be part of something bigger. And that, as a physiotherapist, as a healthcare professional, is so refreshing.
And rewarding.
Oh, incredibly rewarding. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, I count myself very lucky every day that I do what I do. And yeah, this community, this sense of just get out there, get involved. There are events going on all over the UK. I mean, Walk for Parkinson's moved around the whole of the UK. And so if you hadn't got an opportunity to do it this year, then think about signing up to that next year. And there are other events all the time happening. So just go along, drag your family, drag anyone who'll come with you, and just go and see what it's about. I promise you, you won't regret it.
And here's a few people who've got a bit to say about how great it is that they've got involved. And look at the smiles on their faces. Look at what they've got to say. They've had a great time. And isn't it wonderful that they can take the whole family for the journey, that the family are joining in? Yeah. And this is something that can happen, is that it can be something that brings the family together.
Yeah. I think so. And that's what I see more and more. You think that with a diagnosis like this, it would be the end of everything. And in fact, it isn't. It's just the beginning.
Staying involved in your community can do so much more than pass the time. It can help people with Parkinson's maintain a sense of purpose and belonging. As I've said, we're going to hear the stories from the people that it's made a difference for.
My name is Philip Brown. And I've had Parkinson's since 2000. Well, I was diagnosed in 2018. It was a big shock, as you would expect. And I've tried boxing, tennis for Parkinson's, and it wasn't my cup of tea. Luckily, I found this skateboarding. I really started it because I wanted something that would help me with my balance and something that I enjoy. And when I tried this, the first time I went, I had a big beaming face, my son said. So I went and bought myself a board. It was his board I was using, by the way. The benefits I've had, when I walked through doors, I used to freeze and I used to bounce off the frames and fall over, or just freeze at that spot and not be able to move. And I was always off balance. Now this, over a period of 2 years, has taught me balance. My balance has improved at least 50% than what it was. I've got a lot fitter through it, and I've found doing something I enjoy has had its benefits with my mental health. As you can tell, I still stutter a lot. That's something that's, I don't know whether it's Parkinson's or the tablets. This helps with your mental health and with your concentration, because you have to work out your routes, you have to work out whether to lean forwards, whether to lean back. It's also a brain thing. 80% of Parkinson's is in your head. If I can roll down ramps, it takes a lot for me to roll down something for the first time, which is like a mental challenge. And it's all constantly testing your mind.
Hi, my name's Jeff. In a typical week, I run, I cycle, I swim, I play football, go to the gym a couple of times a week. I try and do 30 minutes of stretching every day. I've always been pretty active, but for the few years before my diagnosis, I struggled to get motivated because I was anxious a lot. Any kind of activity was also difficult, so I was so stiff and injury prone, so I was really going downhill pretty badly. However, when I was diagnosed, I was told that exercise was really good for helping people with Parkinson's and could help me feel a lot better than I was feeling. And honestly, I didn't really believe them, but I thought, what have I got to lose? I'm really going to give this a go, and I'm really glad I did. Activity alongside using medication has been an absolute game changer for me. I do some physical activity every day and even did a sprint triathlon recently. Unbelievably, I have to remind myself how bad I was because I can do so much more now just by being more active. I would say to those in the community that from my experience, doing more exercise leaves me feeling so much better physically and mentally. Even my wife has said that I've completely changed for the better from when I was diagnosed. I can't pretend that having PD is great, however. Being active has made a tangible difference to my life now. Who knows what the future will bring. My favourite part of doing exercise is the people I do it with, whether it's in a group gym or playing football with friends or working out online with others over Zoom. being around others really helps me feel connected, and it's easier to turn up when I have other people to do it with, if I'm honest. Look, everybody is different, but for me, I would say that doing exercise means that getting a diagnosis of Parkinson's can be a beginning. It doesn't have to be an end. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Maria. Yet again, a superstar in the studio. And thank you to anyone else that we've seen on that VT. Thank you for participating and spreading the news, spreading the voice of Parkinson's. For all of you listening, we're here, remember, to support you as you navigate your journey with Parkinson's. Remember, you are not alone. Let us help you find your way forward. For more information, resources or support, please visit the Parkinson's UK website at www.parkinsons.org.uk. Until next time, take care, stay strong, and we'll see you on the next episode.